I spun around on my heels energetically to see who was standing behind me. The smile already spread across my face grew larger. "Jack!" I yelled, running up to him and giving him a hug. "Where the hell have you been?" "Out," I giggled. "Fuck do you mean, out? Sky, you've been missing for weeks." I just shrug and he crosses his arms. I could tell he wasn't amused, even though his mask didn't really give much away. "So how's Jeff doing?" I smiled, beginning to skip towards the house. "The hell if I know. He just sort of ran off one day. No sight of hope either." "Wait, Sky, are you holding a knife?" "Let's just say I've learned to appreciate the art of killing." "Really?" "Yes," I snapped to look at him. Was he really going to doubt me? "Are you surprised?" "Yes, actually." "And why's that?" "Well, maybe because you refused to kill for years?" "People change, Jack," I chuckled. "So that fire, was that you?" I nodded yes happily. "You have a lot to learn." "Are you criticizing my work?" "Yes, actually. Fires are sloppy and irresponsible, and anyone can spot them, and your location is given up instantly. In fact, the whole reason I found you was because I saw the fire," he said, a scary, serious tone in his voice. I furrowed my brow and pouted. Whatever. The rest of the walk home was awkwardly silent. I was cutting the skin in the tips of my fingers to try and calm down. I had never realized how relaxing killing is. Seeing the tiny bit of hope in their eyes, hope that they will survive, hope that you will put them out of their misery, hope that you will take pity on their pathetic souls. But that hope that they have is just a tiny length of twine being pulled so tight that it's at risk of snapping. The best feeling is the satisfaction of snapping that twine, killing their hopes, seeing their lives slowly drain from their once hopeful eyes. Now I understand why my parents were killers. I now understand why they wanted me to become a killer. They wanted me to experience the adrenaline rush. "Sky?" a gravelly voice announced out of shock. I turned around and smiled. "Hey, Ben." "How have you been?" He wrapped an arm around my shoulder, seeing how I was shivering. "Awesome!" I exclaimed excitedly, which caught him off guard. And that's when he noticed the blood all over me. His facial expression went from shock to a sly smirk. "Well, well, well, little Miss Killer over here. Hope you had a fun time, sweetheart, because when Jeff comes back, you are so dead." "And why would you say that?" I asked, looking at him. "Because you've been missing for weeks. So is Hope. Jeff kind of feels like his life is falling apart," he told me, walking into the house. "I bet," I chuckled to myself. "What?" he asked. "Nothing. Okay, so I'm starving." Wow, this coming from Miss I'm never hungry. I'm impressed. "What can I say? I've changed," I giggled. "I'll make you something. Why don't you fix yourself? You look like a hot mess." Way to sugarcoat it, but I'll go. And with that, I raced down the stairs and into my room. A smile crept onto my face as memories of my childhood room filled my head. Not good memories. I understood that my parents loved me, but I also understood that to be a serial killer, you have to be mentally unstable, and that is something that I tried to keep in perspective growing up. Whenever they would come home after a bad hunt, they would drink. A lot. I would usually sit in my room and try to hide, because if I got in either of their way while they were not happy, they wouldn't care that I was their daughter. They would take their drunk fury out on me. They were both abusive, but mostly Dad. My mom would try and tell me that it was because he wasn't as used to how people act as she was, and that I needed to let it slide and cut him some slack. So that was what I did for years. He would always try and act like nothing happened the next morning, but he would subtly try and make it up to me. And even though I tried to forgive and forget, there was always that little part in me that had burned hatred for them and what they did. I tried to focus on the positive things they did for me, like how they always told me they loved me, but every time they said that, I would slightly remember the horrible things they would say while they were drunk. It was my turn for revenge, and I had almost got it. "Sky?" I jumped a tad, being shot out of my deep thoughts. I looked down to see a little brown-haired girl staring up at me. "Sally," I smiled, sitting on the ground, and she ran up to me and hugged me. "You scared the hell out of us. Where have you been?" "I guess you could say I was doing some self-discovering." I shrugged, realizing how dumb that sounded. "What does that even mean?" she asked, looking at me from head to toe, then gasping, realizing the caked blood. "Oh, I get it." I chuckled and nodded yes. "How do you feel?" Pretty good, actually." "Well, duh, you have killer's rush," she said. I raised an eyebrow in confusion. Sally sighed. "That high feeling you get after killing, I guarantee you still have it based on how recent some of that blood looks," she explained. "That makes sense," I replied, still feeling butterflies in my stomach. "Okay, well, I need to clean myself because I feel completely disgusting." "You do that," Sally said, hopping up and skipping out of my room. A slight smile tugged at the side of my mouth. I always loved Sally. Sometimes she's an adorable little sister, and other times she's a kick-ass aunt. Either way, she's awesome. After showering, I put on an old t-shirt and some shorts, then blew my long, newly washed hair and put it in a high ponytail. I didn't bother looking in the mirror because, to be honest, I could care less what I looked like. I was so past the self-conscious teenager phase of my life. I hopped down the stairs, amazing myself with how much energy I actually had considering everything I had just done. "God, why do girls take so long?" I heard a sarcastic Ben say from the kitchen. "Oh, shut up." I smiled, sitting down at the table. Sally sat down next to me and glared at Ben. "I'm hungry too." "Seriously, Sally?" he asked. She continued to glare till he finally gave in. He made 3 sandwiches for me, Sally, and himself. It was actually really nice to just sit there and eat with my family, like good old times. It was truly a shame that this might be the last time I spend with them, because after I get rid of Jeff, they probably won't be so thrilled with me. "Sky, are you okay? You've been acting different since you got back." Ben snapped his fingers in front of my face. "Besides your whole being a new killer thing, Ben's right," Sally added. "I'm fine, you guys, really." "Whatever you say," Ben said, finishing his sandwich. I finished shortly after and went back up to my room to sleep. I needed my rest for when Jeff comes back.